Good morning, and the Lord be with you. Well, I hope you've had a good week so far. I hope that these videos have helped. If nothing else, at least you can see me stepping in cowpats and getting hit in the head by lettuces and have a good laugh. Incidentally, if this is the first video you've seen, then that will be confusing. You could always pause now and go and watch the rest of the videos and catch up, and then all will become clear. Don't worry, we'll wait. All done? Caught up? Great. Okay, so do you remember our theme? If not, here's a quick little puzzle to see if you can work it out. Can you rearrange the word to make the theme? Let's move this one over here and push this one up here and just grab this one all the way over to here. There we are. Compassion. Oh, hang on. That's better. Compassion. We've talked about God having compassion, haven't we? Because he cares for us. We've talked about God being slow to anger and forgiving us when we get angry. We've talked about how Jesus gets us because he knows what we go through. And all of that helps us to have compassion for other people. But what happens when that runs out? What if you're being all compassionate to someone and you're caring for them, but the compassion runs out? Just like my orange juice did a couple of videos ago and I got cross again. Well, today we've got a story from the Old Testament about someone who got something from God that should have run out, but just kept on going. Have a watch.
Once a long, long time ago, there's a woman in Israel. Her husband had died, so she was left alone with her sons. She had to take care of her two boys all by herself. Once, a bad, mean tax collector came to her house, and he said, "Pay me my money, or I'll take your sons to be my slaves." The widow said, "Oh no! What will I do? I have no money, and I don't want to lose my sons." She was really scared. But then she thought, "I'll ask the prophet Elisha to help." The prophet said, "What do you have in your house?" She replied, "Only one jar of oil is almost gone." But Elisha had a good idea. He told the woman to go collect empty jars from all of her friends and neighbors and bring them back to her house. They went around the whole neighborhood and collected jars from all their friends. Lots and lots of jars. Hundreds and millions of jars. Thousands. Millions. When the woman got home, she took out her very small jar of oil. She poured it into her first empty jar. The little jar kept on pouring till the big jar was filled. It was a miracle! One by one, she filled all the jars till there was no more empty jars left. Then she sold the oil. There was so much to sell. She had enough money to pay her debt.
So God provided for that widow oil that kept on going and didn't run out. Now that story doesn't say that if we want an unending supply of absolutely anything, we just have to ask God, although that would be very cool. But it does remind us that if we need something, God will sort it out. So let's think about compassion. We want to have compassion, but we don't always feel compassionate. It feels like our compassion can run out. And so what should we do? Ask God. We should ask God to give us compassion that doesn't run out. And then we go and we care for people. You see, the woman showed she believed God by pouring out that oil. If she hadn't poured out the oil, she wouldn't have found out that it kept on going. So we need to ask God to give us compassion that doesn't end. And then we go and show it. And it's like pouring it out. In fact, I think I've got a good way of showing us this. So I wonder if this will work. Hey, it worked. Fantastic. Okay, well, we were talking about compassion being like something that you poured out onto other people. So here we are. If we ask God to give us compassion, unending compassion, then it's like we can then go and pour it out on other people, just like pouring this milk into the glass. So here we are. Let's pour that one in there. The compassion that God gives us, we can pour out onto other people. And then because we've asked God to give us compassion, we can have enough to pour out onto even more people. Here we are. Oh, I spilled a load down there, but we can pour it out onto even more people. Look at that. And because we've asked God to give us compassion, we can go and pour it out onto even more people. Look at that. I keep spilling some, but there's still plenty to pour out. There we are. And I think you see where this is going. Because we've asked God to give us compassion, we can pour out compassion on even more people. Here we are. Right up to the top there. Oh, yeah, there we are. And because we've asked God, just wiping up the spill, because we've asked God to give us even more compassion, unending compassion, we can pour it out onto even more people. Well, this one is really overflowing. Here we are. We can pour it out onto even more people. Look at that. You see, if we just try and do all this on our own, then we just don't manage it. We might have compassion a bit, but sooner or later we lose our patience, or we get cross or angry like we talked about a few weeks back. But if we ask God to give us compassion, unending compassion, then in his strength we can keep on pouring out compassion and pouring out compassion and pouring out compassion and pouring out compassion. So what do we learn from that? Well, either we learn that if you pray for milk, you get milk, or we learn that if we pray for compassion, then God will help us and we can show that compassion to lots of other people. I'll let you decide which one it is. And until next week, goodbye and God bless. 1 minute. It's not the milk thing. Don't pray for milk. It's the other one.